Hello again, finally, and welcome to Wrestling Gets Real. This is my review of AEW Full Gear this past Saturday. Alright, so the pre-show buy-in kicked off with the NWA Women's World Title, Serena Deeb versus Allison Kay. Oh, first thing I noticed, and I couldn't remember why I recognized Serena, or Allison, I'm sorry. But I remember she worked in TNA, or Impact, whichever you prefer. And then Serena, I know from being in the Straight Edge Society. So anyways, I noted that Allison is much bigger than Serena. Allison tried to get a quick pin attempt. This was a really good back and forth match. Both of these women, oh my god, I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they needed ice after this match, the way they were slapping each other in the face. There was a hanging neck breaker on the second rope. Allison Kay did a Kali bomb. It was freaking great. I was like, oh my god, why is everybody using everybody else's finishers? What the heck? There were three pin attempts within 6 minutes. I mean, that was just, yeah. Allison worked over the match pretty well. And then Serena started working on her left hand and her arm. Both women are great at submissions. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't really paying attention to this match because I didn't understand why there was an NWA match going on AEW pay-per-view, but in the end, Serena ended up with a submission win, and then out came Thunder Rosa. So the question is she going to stick with AEW, or is she going to go to WWE, or what is she going to do? So that was that. Alright, now we get to the AEW Full Gear pay-per-view. Side note, right at the end of the pre-show, they introduced Jim Ross. He came out to his music and all that, and everybody made a big deal about it. There were a lot of fans in attendance. They said there was close to 1,000. The first match, Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page, with Don Callis on commentary, because they asked Don Callis why Kenny Omega was referred to as the cleaner, and Don answered and said because in Japan he was known as the cleaner. So yeah. Only thing I didn't like about this was this stupid long entry of Kenny Omega. It makes no sense. It's very weird. And no. So Kenny Omega offers the hand to start the match. Page automatically just no, not gonna happen. They did the very loud chops, you chop me, I chop you. It was a very stiff match, it looked like, to start off with. Let's see. There was some high flying. Page wanted to keep the match in the ring, but Kenny obviously wanted to fly, because that's what he does. Kenny Omega hit this amazing standing moonsault. He ran, Page went to whip him towards the guardrail. He jumps the rail, flips up backwards, does a moonsault off the railing. It was beautiful. At one point in the match, Omega did mess up, actually twice. The first time, I'm not sure which happened in which order, but Omega was throwing punches, and you could clearly see that the punches were not, impactful, which is not something you're supposed to see. And he also went to chop Page, and he chopped, Omega went to chop Page, and he chopped Page in the face. That's not cool, man. You don't do that. Omega hit the V-trigger at least 2 or 3 times in this match. He got suplexed off the top rope by Page. Then there was a powerbomb to the floor, which resulted in a 2 count, which should have been the end of the match. Omega landed the Tiger Bomb 98, and he went to pin Page, but Page rolled out of it, turned it into a Deadeye for a 2 count. And Omega attempted to reverse a buckshot on Page, but he got stacked for a 2 count. And then 2 more V-triggers, a 1 winged angel, and then a 3 count. Page legit looked like he was going to cry when this match was over. He was so upset with himself. And I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, it was a good match. You know what I mean? So that was that match. Up next was Orange Cassidy versus John Silver of the Dark Order, number 4. Jim Ross actually said Orange Cassidy is great, which he is. I mean, minus the whole pockets deal, he's great. Speaking of the pockets, John Silver actually got mad and ripped off Orange Cassidy's pockets. So that was funny. Silver wasted a lot of times posing and doing stupid shit, making faces and, oh, I got muscles. And the guy's shorter than a freaking hobbit, okay? He's got great kicks. I watched him wrestle my friend in New Jersey, named Grim. And then Orange Cassidy did this amazing thing on the top rope. He did 9 punches, and then he flipped into a driver. 1, 2, 3. And it was a it was a good match. There wasn't a whole lot of nonsense. Dark Order didn't interfere. You know what I mean? It was good. It's minus the whole pockets deal. Orange Cassidy, is he's good in the ring. That orange punch that he does is great. And when the time comes, he can really throw down. So, regardless of what some people might say, I think Cassidy's a good wrestler. Up next, we got the TNT title. Cody Rhodes versus Cody Rhodes. Yeah, had to say it twice. Versus Darby Allin. Cody came out with a freaking army of entourage, but then, thank God, everybody walked away, except for, of course, Arn Anderson, because he's the coach. Mike Chioda was the referee, senior referee. Mike Chioda, formerly known as. Anyways, so Darby comes in a car, smashes the window, and there was a driver in the car that apparently nobody realized, and the guy didn't even blink. The glass broke from the skateboard, and the guy didn't even blink. Cody, for some reason, in the middle of this match, at some point, does a random cartwheel. I don't know why. I don't know what happened right before it, but for some reason, he did a random cartwheel. Cody had Darby in a hammerlock and tossed him onto the ramp from the ring, like over the top rope, bam, to the floor, well, to the ramp, which comes up level to the ring, landing on his arm with it behind him. It was crazy. Apparently this was the 4th match between these two. I only knew of one. Cody had Darby in the short arm scissors, but Darby rolled it into a 1 count. Cody also got kind of pissed off because Darby smacked him in the back of the head for whatever reason. Arn Anderson yelled at Cody for being in the middle of a match and doing push-ups, and he's like, come on, man, focus on the plan. This is the plan, yada, yada, yada. Cody did... Oh my God, I thought he was going to die. I thought they both were going to die. He did a crossroads off the top rope, and luckily nobody was hurt. Darby did a Yoshitonic into a 2 count, and the match ended up with a couple rolls where, like, you'll have one guy holding the guy and they're trying to pin him, and then they'll roll over, and then that guy tries to pin him, and they went back and forth, and Darby got the win. 1, 2, 3, and Cody got up like a man, admitted that he lost, and he grabbed the TNT title, took a knee, and handed it to Darby like a man. And then out comes... Who the heck came out? Out comes... Oh, Team Taz, that's right. Out came Team Taz. They attacked Cody and Darby and attempted to smash Darby's arm in a window, or in the door of his car. and out comes Will Hobbs with a chair. I don't know what it is with this guy, but every time he comes out with a chair, he waits like 5 seconds before swinging, and like he misses whatever he's aiming at. He's nowhere near the person he's going for. Like, oh, I'm going to swing a chair at you, and then, oh wait, you're 10 feet over there, but I'm going to hit this table or this wall right here. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's inexperience or something. I don't know what it is. But anyway, Darby Allin, new TNT champion. QT Marshall, Dustin Rhodes had an interview backstage. I kind of missed that because the pay-per-view cut out for a moment. So I had to restart it and go back in. So I missed the interview. Hikaru Shida with Nyla Rose. Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero. I'm not even going to go through my notes on this match. Hikaru Shida won. There's no reason for it. I don't know how she was able to suplex Nyla. But at the end of the match, Nyla got yelled at by Vicky and smacked in the face. And she just dropped her head like, oh, damn, what did I just do? You know what I mean? Nyla, not Vicky. So, yeah. So that was that. AEW Tag Team titles. FTR with no Tully Blanchard versus the Young Bucks. And of course, everybody knew going into this match that the Bucks were going to win, because obviously you can't have the Young Bucks in AEW for the rest of their career with no tag team titles. I mean, come on now. Because they said if they didn't win, they'd never challenge them for the tag team titles again. And so there was a lot of hard-hitting action, sorry. Bucks had frequent tags to start out with. Matt missed a moonsault and then got yanked into the ropes. The Bucks had they have really crappy punches. I'm just gonna say it. I mean, I've been wrestling for 15 years. I know a bad punch when I see it. Cash took one of Matt's leg and he rammed it into the guardrail, and it legit sounded like it broke. Let me see what else here. They worked on his leg the whole match, as they should have. Cash took a bad fall, but both he and Nick Buck got hot tags right off of that. I don't know what the heck happened, but he took a really bad fall. I thought they were gonna bring him back. I thought he was done for the night. But then their motto is no flips, something, I forget what their damn catchphrase is. But Cash did a swanton or a springboard or a 450 or something, missed it, and it cost him and Dax the match. And then Kenny Omega came out, and it looked like Adam Page, but I'm not really sure, but someone with no shirt on was standing in the tunnel, but they didn't come out, and nobody pointed it out. So that was that. Then we got the Elite Deletion match. This match was insane. Obviously, there were weapons. They were at the Hardy compound. Excuse me. Cody, yeah. Sammy Guevara versus Matt Hardy. Sammy shows up in a golf cart, which immediately gets smashed by Matt with a monster truck. They fight all over the place. Matt hits Sammy with a scepter that he found in a fountain. They ended up using fireworks and chasing each other. Santana and Ortiz showed up. Private Party showed up. Gang freaking Grell and the Hurricane showed up. What the hell? So then, Matt and Sammy end up in the what I know as the BCR Dome, but they called it something else. I don't know what they called it, but they called it something else. Sammy as bloody as can be. Matt jabs him with a chair and then puts Sammy headfirst on the floor and does a concerto using the chair and hitting Sammy's face off the concrete. Pins him 1, 2, 3. The Dome of Deletion. I have it here. Pins him 1, 2, 3. And then the Dome of Deletion unlocks, and in comes Private Party, and they put Guevara in a trash can, and Senior Benjamin drives off with him in a trash can. So, yeah, that was that match. Matt Hardy won. MJF versus Chris Jericho. If MJF wins, he's gonna be in the inner circle. Now, I have not liked MJF ever. I've always been a Chris Jericho fan, especially since he's got his long hair. I love the song Judas. I love the fact that I don't care where he's at, whether it's been during this pandemic or whatever, the wrestlers do it, the fans do it. They sing his song, and he can't help but smile about it, even if he's in a bad mood. The crowd's immediately behind Jericho, obviously. MJF offers the handshake. He gets slapped and slaps Chris right back. MJF, oh my god, he did this clothesline. Chris was against the ropes, and he did this clothesline, and Chris pretty much had to backflip himself over the top rope because that clothesline was so freaking weak that Chris pretty much jumped over the top rope himself to complete the move because the clothesline was so bad. They countered each other back and forth. At one point, MJF had chopped, karate thrusted, I guess I should say, Jericho in the throat, which is kind of dangerous. MJF actually did a code breaker and attempted the lion salt. Didn't get anywhere with it. Jericho did, in this order, a double sledge, a lion salt, top rope 9 punches into a Frankensteiner. And at some point in the match, and I thought it was great, MJF comes off the ropes, Jericho flips him, and in midair, MJF goes, "Oh shit!" On the way down, bam, hits the ring. So then he calls out Wardlow. Wardlow brings the ring. Jericho has the bat. And I realized it was November, and now I know why he did it. MJF pulled an Eddie Guerrero, waited for the ref to turn, and fell down and played off that Jericho hit him with the bat. So then Jericho gets disqualified, MJF wins. MJF is now in Inner Circle. And in case people wonder what I meant by it's November, Eddie Guerrero died in November of 2005. So that was, I think, MJF's way of paying tribute to Eddie, and kudos to him for that. They announced AEW Revolution, which will be February 27th of next year. Why they're not having a pay-per-view in December or January is beyond me. But, so then, best friends are shown backstage. Miro and Kip interrupt them, and they ask Cassidy for an apology. Cassidy says he's sorry and gets slapped anyway. He's like, okay, cool. Don't care. And he walks away. Up next is the main event. Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley. Now, no disrespect to Tracy Smothers or the Full-Blooded Italians, but the way they put Kingston's outfit together made him look like the freaking Green Power Ranger. It looked very weird. So, I love the fact that Jon Moxley is from Ohio. They've been getting a lot of wrestlers in AEW from Ohio for some reason. The match started as a brawl. Both men were very stiff, which is good because it shows that, the violence. There was a suplex at one point on the concrete floor. I thought somebody's back was going to break. Moxley was working on the hand, and he literally looked like he snapped Eddie Kingston's fingers. And at some point, I forget where this happened, but Kingston channeled his inner Mike Tyson and tried to bite off Moxley's ear. I don't know what happened, but why it happened, or like if he slipped or what. But Kingston was gonna throw Moxley into the guardrail, and Moxley fell 3 feet short of the guardrail, and he didn't make it. So I don't know what the hell that was about. Kingston brought in 2 chairs. He didn't use them right away. Moxley obviously uses the barbed wire bat. Kingston throws the chair, hits Mox right in the face. Mox got dropped belly first on a baseball bat. Kingston at some point got busted open and was bleeding from the mouth. He took freaking rubbing alcohol from the doctor's table at ringside and was pouring it on the back of Moxley after Moxley was hit with the barbed wire. They brought in tacks. Excuse me. And in the end of the match, Kingston was sitting facing the crowd, opposite direction of the stage. He flipped off John Moxley. Moxley grabbed a piece of barbed wire, wrapped it around his forearm, and put Kingston in the Bulldog choke for the win. And Kingston legit was in tears, and he said, "I quit," and that was the end. Kenny Omega obviously came out, and Moxley's like, "Come on, go ahead." And I guess Omega, according to what they said, Omega said, "I don't want no part of this. I want a straight up match." But that's AEW Full Gear 2020, apparently their last pay-per-view this year. So, it was all in all a great pay-per-view. I mean, it lasted, like I said, it went till sometime after 12. I think it was 12:30 here on the East Coast. And like I said, it was a great show, and I loved it. And AEW hasn't disappointed me yet, except for the fact that Dark Order doesn't really live up to their name. I don't know what went sideways with them, but when they started adding more people, it was just weird. But I love John Moxley and Eddie Kingston's feud. Hopefully now it's over. And I just noticed the Bucks have the title. Moxley's number one contender is Kenny Omega. And the Bucks have the tag team titles, and Kenny Omega is the number one contender. So, I'm going to guess by the middle of next year, the Elite will be holding every championship. Excuse me. And that's just my opinion. But, anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next one. And thanks for listening, and subscribe for more.